Welcome to the latest episode of the 15-Minute Chat series we're having with local business people. It's brought to you in partnership with Business Central, which provides its members with professional business support services. And one of those providers here today is Craig Sidoruk, who is an experienced HR provider. And he's supporting many local businesses as they navigate these difficult times at the moment. So, and he offers those services to members and to other businesses as well. Craig, is that how it works?
Yeah,
hey, so welcome, Craig. Great to see you today.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Great to see you. Yeah. Rightio. So the first question I've got for you is, what have you craved most down in lockdown?
I had to think about that, but I think it was sushi.
Sushi, that's a new one.
There's a good little place down in Hariri, and I certainly haven't been able to make it anywhere near the standards that they produce. So that's definitely the one thing I have craved.
Excellent. Well, that's a new one. That's really interesting. Hey, and what technology and stuff have you been relying on a lot during lockdown?
Oh, look, it's got to be Zoom. You know, we're doing Zoom now, and I think the thing about Zoom is that it's been fantastic. It's free for some people, or you could join pretty cheaply. But I think it's the personal connection. You know, that you can actually see that person, you can see the body language. So it's been great for team meetings. We've been doing lots of webinars. We're doing lots of virtual coaching sessions as well. And of course, it's actually been quite good to catch up with a few friends as well, being able to keep our book club going, and also even I've been doing Pilates. Our Pilates classes moved to online as well, so that's been pretty cool.
Excellent. Hey, and just the impact on your business and your business, one, you know, you're obviously probably a hell of a lot busier than what you have been in the past as, you know, local businesses look to and how they navigate these times. And so, yeah, just give us a bit of a run through of what you're seeing out there.
Well, look, we've been really lucky. We have been able to keep open, obviously, and work all the way through. Obviously, unlike a number of businesses, but you know, we had a lot of inquiries right at the outset around the wage subsidy, just how to deal with that and the implications of consulting with your employees, and you know, there's a lot of questions. A number of employers were making changes to hours and wages, and so we're getting lots of queries around that. Then, of course, there were some changes to the wage subsidy scheme, you know, in terms of the declaration page and how that worked. And so, again, lots of queries. So we had an initial flurry of questions and queries, and you know, it was actually a really challenging time, because often we were getting the information secondhand ourselves through our Business Central EMA and you know, network. And so yeah, it was just challenging times. And also, if we couldn't understand it, a lot of the times, then businesses were really struggling. Then after kind of that initial flurry, actually things, you know, quieted down quite a bit. I think, you know, businesses just kind of went into shock and then went into hibernation. And then as we kind of could see the light, as we're moving towards level 3, then I think, you know, businesses started to, you know, phones started to wake up a bit as well. So we also were running virtual sessions and the like through the period of lockdown level 4. So, you know, that kept us busy too. So,
yeah. So people are at the heart of every business, and you know, there's predictions in relation to more and more people being out of jobs, or that type of thing. You know, this must be an incredibly challenging time for a lot of these businesses who, you know, the person that they employ is not a number. They're someone that they've actually had a long-standing relationship with. So, you know, there must be some challenges in that going forward to how that sort of stuff is managed as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Look, a number of the businesses that I've been talking to that are considering restructuring are just, you know, they're devastated by the impact of this. And they're making changes, which I suppose the positive aspect of is is that they're making changes that will enable the business to continue to operate into the future. So yeah, no one lets go of staff lightly, especially experienced staff. So yeah, that is really challenging for those businesses. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you've been in lockdown now 6-7 weeks. What's been your daily routine? Is it a mix of you've been doing, your Pilates or whatever it is?
Pilates on a Monday.
Yep.
Yep. So that was great. Our Pilates coach moved to that straight away, and so yeah, I've virtually missed no sessions. So that's been good. But yeah, a lot of routine. I try and keep the business, the working day, fairly structured. So I get up in the morning, go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, which is good to get out and stretch and then move and then come back to the office. And so then obviously I've got a home office, which is sitting in there. That's quite challenging for a start, wasn't it? Because schools also closed down, and so we have got 2 teenage kids, and they, we had to keep them occupied as well. So actually, in fact, it was actually quite crazy. We pulled out the Lego, which we haven't pulled out for years, and so we had some really good challenges about that. And then now the kids are back at school, so still try and keep a good work routine and keeping the kids busy, focused on school as well. Yep. And of course, we've got Trish, my wife. She's working from home too, and so she's in a pretty full-on role, and that's been so we've been kind of juggling the home offices around.
Yeah. So you work over at the business hub, and there's other agencies, support agencies and stuff there as well. And then you've got a team elsewhere around the country. The communication side of that must and has to have been pretty important.
Yeah, it has. It's been really good too. I attend a weekly Zoom with the team down at the business hub. So that's Business Hawke's Bay, and then NZTE and Callaghan and Hawke's Bay Chamber. So all of those are really good to catch up with them and actually see their faces. So it's that that connection again is really important. And again, Business Central is regularly communicating, webinars and updates all the time. So we've been able to keep in touch really well given the circumstances.
From what I'm seeing, there is a lot of support out there for businesses, and that and it's really good that there is sort of that one central hub to be able to get that information. And it is really a matter of businesses actually putting their hands up and saying, "Hey, we need some help here." Is that also how you see it? That people need to not try and go sit in the corner and hope that it's all going to wash over. That they really need to seek that support.
Yeah, look, totally. Obviously, the first step is the hardest in terms of actually making that first call for help, or if it's even just a query, really. But again, as I mentioned, the team at Business Hawke's Bay, at Business Central, and Export New Zealand, I could list them all. Callaghan and NZTE, I mentioned them. Regional business partners, that's been fantastic resource for local Hawke's Bay businesses, and their funding and voucher scheme has been amazing, just to get people that advice and guidance that they need. And also they've put on through the Business Hub network virtual sessions. Yep. So there's HR and employment relations, which I've been working on, and marketing and media and all those types of things. So it's really great resources. Yeah,
it's fantastic. We've been doing the marketing ones as well, workshops, and just really interesting talking to these businesses that in one way or another you may not necessarily have connected with, and and as I'm seeing, they are optimistic about the future. They're looking at it. They're looking at what are their their products or their services going forward and stuff like that. So with yours, do you see a change in what you will offer going forward at all, or will it be still a business as usual?
Will we change? Well, look, as businesses have gotten back to work, the regular HR issues still exist, and employment relations and so that's all still happening in the background, irrespective of COVID. And into maybe things like Zoom and Teams have actually enabled more remote work. And so that's been fantastic. So, certainly some of my more remote clients up on the East Coast and up north of Gisborne, or up even in the Gisborne area, we'll be able to connect much more with them remotely. And now that, we know that this technology works. That
and people who want,
we work.
Yeah. And people will, they're enjoying the flexibility, a little bit more flexibility with their work environment as well.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think, working from home and flexible working practices, will increase after, COVID. But I think also people have seen the limitations of it, so they like it. And maybe a day or two a week, but I think people are quite keen to get back to work now, get back into the office and actually just have that social connection. So there's pluses and minuses in that regard. But look, as I was saying, through technology like this, business relationships can be, we can always be talking to our customers. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's good. I think we are all hankering for that time that we can just pop our head around a corner and actually, or, grabbing a coffee and having a conversation with someone one-on-one that's real rather than virtually. So I think that's something we're also looking forward to out the other side.
Yeah, look, particularly.
Yeah, hey, now... Yeah, that's right. Now, the economy obviously has taken a bit of a hammering. And, that's forecast to happen or continue for some time. But the Hawke's Bay economy was going incredibly strong prior to this, and that was on the back of some big infrastructure projects, building projects and stuff. But it's also the backbone of our economy, which is the primary sector. So what are your thoughts on how well we will recover?
Well, yeah, you've got to be very optimistic about this, don't you? And so I think that, obviously our tourism sector has been hit hard, and our agriculture sector's, in the middle of a drought. But I think we're in pretty capable hands as well. Our horticulture industry has been able to work largely, all the way through lockdown level 4. And so, Watties and those types of industries have been incredibly busy. I think, our tourism industry is in good, capable hands. And, the people down at Business Hawke's Bay, have been, providing great support out there to the business community as well. And as I mentioned, there's also NZT and Callaghan and through the regional council, the Regional Business Partners Network has been providing great support out there to businesses. And so, look, ultimately, I think that we're in very good hands. People just need to kind of ask for that support.
Is there anything you'd do differently if you were forecasting that there's going to be a pandemic? Would there be anything you'd be quickly trying to get in place, to prepare for that?
Look, I don't know. I think we're actually
apart from getting sushi delivered.
Yeah. At our house, we're actually fairly well, well provisioned. We had, good stock of food on board, and I even had some old N95 masks from N1H1 back in, what was that, about 2005 or something like that.
Right. Yep.
So so we had a few provisions, and we were overly worried. I was first going down getting this shopping from the supermarket, and and look, apart from flour and yeast, most things were in the supermarket shelves. Look, I think New Zealand's coped really, really well through lockdown level 4, 3, and hopefully 2.
Yeah, fingers crossed we move through these next stages pretty quickly. You're like me, I suppose. You love your sport and things as well, and that's something that I'm dearly missing, both going along and watching a game of rugby on the sideline somewhere, or one of our, the kids playing sport, or sitting down and having a quiet one and watching something on Sky Sport too. So those are some of the things that they were just part of our everyday life. Now they're a luxury that we can't actually experience.
Yeah, I think that's been the most difficult thing. The things that we take for granted have been the things that have been affected the most, and just that social connection with friends and family has been, really missed it. Can't wait to get back, to catch up with our friends and then have dinner. Physically share some company. So.
And like you, like me, we've both actually kept clean shaven, unlike some others that I've seen.
Totally. Yes, one of my friends who's go unnamed has a dirty but great moustache, and so it's quite different to seeing your friends with a bit of facial hair. But I can't wait to get back and have a haircut. Well, Trish refuses to cut my hair, so I'm very woolly. Very good. Hey, look, it's been fantastic catching up with you. All the best. I know you'll be in for a busy time over the next few months, offering support to businesses across Hawke's Bay and elsewhere. And so best of luck with all of that. Thanks, Damon. Yeah, all the best to you as well. Cheers. Cheers, mate.